Hi friends, welcome. Sit up straight so your spine's nice and long. Draw your shoulders up, back, and down. Allow your chin to be parallel with the earth. Place something under your feet perhaps so your knees are in line with your hips and then your ankles are right below your knees. You can place your palms up on your thighs or allow your palms to touch at your heart. Close down your eyes and bring your awareness to your breath. No need to change the breath. Just bring your awareness there and observe the quality of your breathing today. And then begin to observe your thoughts and be aware of the quality of your thoughts today. Remember to be gentle with yourself and congratulate yourself for getting out of your comfort zone and trying something new and so very good for you. So throughout our practice, breathe naturally and take as many breaks as you need. Yoga is all about listening to your body. So if your body wants water, give it water. Gently release your hands to your thighs and blink your eyes open. Look over towards the left, keeping the rest of your body absolutely still. Now look right. Continue just like this for a few rounds, making sure that your chin is parallel to the earth and not lifting and lowering. Look over towards the left. Be sure that right shoulder doesn't follow, and come back through center over towards the right. Very good. Bring your gaze back to the front. Knit in your lower ribs. Draw the crown of the head high, maintaining a nice long spine. And lift your chin up, stretching the front of your neck. Then lower your chin towards your chest, stretching the back of your neck. Continue just like that, lifting and lowering. Nothing else in your body is moving but your head. Next time your chin comes towards your chest, hold here. Continue to draw your shoulders back and feel a nice stretch in your trapezius muscles. Lift your chin so it's parallel to the earth. Make fists with your hands and circle out your wrists, sending a little love to our wrist joints, to our forearms, to our fingers. Good. Now place your hands on top of your thighs and loop your shoulders up towards your ears, back and down. Good. Make the circles as big or as small as you would like, and just notice what's going on in your shoulders today. Then release your arms down by your side, and using an inhale, sweep the arms up, and an exhale to sweep the arms down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Find whatever arm variation as you push away the air with your palms, lower them down. Inhale, big circle. Maybe you even look up. Exhale, arms sweep down. Good. Left hand to the right knee. Right hand somewhere on the chair. Moving into a seated spinal twist. Keep your hip points facing forward. Draw your navel in and up, and maintain an upright spine, so no slouching or rounding allowed. Gaze can be over towards the side or behind you. We're not cranking into a twist here, so allow it to happen gradually. Come back to center, hands at the heart, and circle out the wrists once more, moving in both directions. Your arms can be bent or straight, it's up to you. And then place your right hand on your left thigh and your left hand behind you on the chair, and twist your shoulders over towards the left. Maintain that upright spine. Gaze behind you if it feels okay in your neck. Good job. Come back to center and shake it out. So maybe some shoulder rolls, anything that feels good. And when you're ready, slowly walk your hands down your thighs, down your knees, all the way to your ankles, so that you can forward fold and blanket your belly on top of your thighs. Let the crown of the head fall down towards the earth so that you're gazing behind you in between your knees. Stay with your hands reaching for your ankles, or place your hands by your lower back so that your palms are facing out. Maybe you even interlace your fingers. If you can find that bind, lift your knuckles up. You'll feel a nice stretch in your chest, your shoulders, and your lower back. Release your seated forward fold variation and return your hands to your ankles. Slowly begin to walk your hands up your legs so your shoulders are over your hips. Good. Now, remove the chair. We will be using it later, but not right now. Instead, find your yoga mat and maybe a blanket or a towel to use as a cushion underneath your knees. We'll come into tabletop pose or all fours. So stack your shoulders over your wrists, and then your hips are nice and high over your knees. Spread your fingers well. Find a little bend in your elbows to protect the joint, and then knit in your lower ribs so that you have a nice flat back. Press away from the earth so your shoulder blades separate on your back body instead of sinking in so your chest falls to the earth. Gaze about a foot ahead of your fingertips so that your neck is nice and long. We'll move through cow pose. Inhale to look up, allow your belly to drop. Chest lifts. Leading with the tailbone, roll into cat pose. Doming through the spine, pressing away from the earth, chin in towards the chest. Slowly return to the cow pose, dropping your belly, sticking your tailbone high. And then leading with your tailbone, roll into your cat pose, chin in towards your chest. Side body's long. Inhale for your cow, belly drop, spinal extension. And exhale to round or dome your back up towards the sky, spinal flexion. Good. Return to your neutral tabletop pose. And walk your hands back towards your knees. Allow your knees to come together and sit back on your heels with your toes tucked. Now, if this is too much in the back of your feet, don't come to sit on your heels like I'm doing. Instead, keep your hands on the earth. This pose is called toe crusher pose, so please take it at your own pace. If you are sitting on your heels, begin to twirl out your fingers, creating figure 8, getting a little more into our wrists. Keep your shoulders over your hips and breathe into the sensations you feel in your feet. Hands come back down to the earth and walk out to your tabletop pose. Once you get to the tabletop pose, walk your hands slightly past your shoulders. Lift your hips for downward facing dog. Separate your feet so they're hips width distance apart and pedal into one leg and then the other. So one leg is straight and one leg is bent. One heel reaches towards the earth as the other heel lifts. The priority here in the downward facing dog is to keep a nice long spine. So in order to achieve that, you're going to have to lift your tailbone up towards the sky and imagine pumping your chest back towards your knees. Once you've successfully warmed through the hamstrings, begin to find some stillness. Take a big inhale through the nose and an open mouth exhale, release. Shake out your head. Now lower onto your knees, coming to a tabletop pose as a transition to child's pose. So untuck your toes, sail your hips back towards your heels, and blanket your belly on your thighs. Forehead can touch the earth. Arms can reach towards the top of the mat or the back of the mat, depending on how your shoulders feel. Take this opportunity to reconnect with your breath. Good. Slowly place your hands underneath your shoulders, returning to tabletop. Tuck your toes. Hike your hips up high for downward facing dog. Remember, our priority here is a nice long spine. So if you bend your knees and your heels lift off the earth, that's absolutely okay. Press into all 10 fingers and slowly begin to walk your feet up towards the top of the mat so that they're hips width distance apart and you can fold, bending into your knees as much as you need to in order to blanket your belly on top of your thighs. Reach for opposite elbows and sway from side to side and feel a nice release in your lower back. Fingertips to the earth, toe heel your feet into touch, and slowly begin to walk your hands up your body as you roll up to stand. Taking it nice and slow. Once you're at the top, circle your shoulders up, back, and down, and spiral your palms towards the front of the room. Good. I'm going to come face you. How are you feeling? I'm so glad that you're practicing yoga. Now remove your blanket or towel or cushion from your mat and let's grab that chair again. We're going to be working on some balance. So place the chair over towards your left and rest your left hand on the chair. Right hand can come to your hips. Lift your right heel up and begin to circle out through the ankle, bearing most of your weight on your left foot. Draw your navel in and up and allow your spine to be super elongated. Now lift your right knee so it's in line with your hip and circle out your toes. Good. Now point and flex your toes using your core to keep your knee upright. Keep your toes pointed. Now maybe bring both hands to your hips, finding balance without the chair, and then placing the foot back down onto the earth. Let's find the other side. Place the chair off to the right. Right hand stays on the chair. Lift your left heel. Majority of your weight is rooted down through your right foot. Spine's nice and long, tailbone's tucked just a bit. And when you're ready, lift your right knee up so it's in line with your hip, making sure not to let your shoulders fall backwards. Make some circles with the toes. Point and flex, and then keep the toes pointed and maybe find a little bit of balance without relying on the chair. Good job. Dance it out, bounce it out. Balance is definitely something that needs to be practiced. Place the chair directly in front of you and separate your feet about 4 or 5 feet distance apart. Toes to face forward, feet are parallel. Moving into a side bend. Make sure that chair is pretty close to your belly, both hands on the chair, elbows can bend out. Reach your left arm up and tip over towards the right. Work towards keeping your hips level instead of dropping down through that right hip. Both hands come back to the chair. Activate through the legs by lifting up the kneecaps. Lift up the right arm and bend over towards the left. Come back to center, both hands on the chair. We'll repeat that one more time. Or if you want a little more and to focus on your balance, hands can come to your hips. Left arm reaches up and bends over towards the right. Your gaze can be forward or up past your left bicep. Both hands come to hips. Right arm reaches up and over towards the left. Right shoulder moving back into space. Good. Both hands to the hips. And set the chair off to the right. Spin your right toes so that they're facing out and pointing towards the back of the room, and there's heel to arch alignment. Hands can come to hips. Bend and straighten into your right leg, preparing for warrior 2. Left leg is very straight, and our shoulders are stacked over our hips. Bend into your right knee so much so that the knee is right over the ankle. Extend your arms long so they're parallel to the earth and your palms are facing down. Good. Return your hands to your hips and continue to bend and straighten out through the right leg. Keep the right leg straight and reach for your chair, preparing for triangle pose. So place the chair right beside your right knee. Keep your hands on your hips and begin to tip over towards the right. Place your hand down on the chair, right underneath your right shoulder. Left shoulder can roll back a bit, and your right hip can tuck underneath you. Lift your left arm up and overhead. Avoid collapsing in your right shoulder by pressing away from the chair to create a lot of space in between your shoulder and the ear. Gaze up towards the sky if it feels okay on the neck. Place your right hand on your right hip and squeeze your legs together. Engage your core to help come up. And remember, it might be your first time doing this, so be easy with yourself. We're moving into a wide-legged forward fold using the assistance of the chair. So spin your right toes back to face the side of your mat so your feet are parallel. Engage through the quadriceps by lifting up your kneecaps and begin to hinge and forward fold using the chair for assistance. Walk your hands down the chair to the seat and find a place where you can settle in. Lower your head, relax through your neck, and feel a nice stretch in the back line of your body. Begin to come out of the pose so that you're upright, shoulders over your hips, and scoot that chair over towards the left, preparing for our warrior two and triangle pose on this side. Spin your left toes out, find heel to arch alignment. The pinky toe side of your right foot can be parallel to the back edge of the mat. Bend into the left knee, and then straighten the leg. Bend into the knee, and straighten. Bend, straighten, bend. And this time we'll settle in for our warrior two. So elongate through your arms, hands in line with your shoulders. Relax the shoulders down and back and look over your left fingertips. Good. Straighten and bend the leg once again. Hands can come to your hips. Good. Now find your chair and place it on the inside of your left leg, somewhere in between your knee and your shin, preparing for triangle pose. Both hands can come onto your hips. Tip your torso towards the left. You'll feel a nice stretch in the right outer hip. Keeping all of that length in your left side body, place your left hand onto the chair. Spiral your heart up towards the sky and look up. Reach your right arm up and then overhead. If the arm doesn't want to stay straight, that's okay. Just bend it and then place your hand behind your head, continuing to guide that shoulder back into space. Release your hand back to your hip. Use your strong core to come upright. And without tripping over the chair, bring your feet together. Come to stand and bounce out your hips. Release your palms to face forward and then draw your hands to your heart. Thank you everyone so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this beginner series yoga class. Till next time.